Scott Cummings, welcome.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be here, mate.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you coming out of your busy schedule, mate.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Just managed to squeeze you in, mate.
Yeah.
All right. There's a few appointments either side, but we'll be right.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just
happy to be here, mate.
Yeah. Just make sure you grab the check on your way out
Yeah,
as well, mate.
sure will
Yeah.
do. Check.
Yeah. What does a day look like for you, mate? What day to day, week to week? Tell me a bit.
Doing breakfast radio now. So we moved back to Perth in February last year.
Oh, yeah.
After 20 years in Melbourne, and to do breakfast radio. So the alarm's off at 4:30.
Yep.
And off I go. It's changed the lifestyle a little bit. I used to get home at 4:30.
Yeah,
and now
right.
I'm getting up at 4:30 and going to work. And so that's just 6 to 8 on SEN WAs. We, myself and Tim Gossage, we talk sport, we talk shit.
Yeah, cool.
We have a bit of fun in the morning.
Yep.
And then I go off to my next job.
Yep.
And work for a company called Profounder, which is a group of, at the moment, about 18 separate individual companies. Profounder own them, and they're all in the property maintenance space. So I'm a business development manager for Profounder, right, and try and sell the group as a one package thing instead of the businesses operating individually.
Interesting.
We try and sell them as the one-stop shop, basically, for anyone that owns a property. We've got some service that can help you. So,
cool, mate.
So it's a busy day, and then you finish, and then I end up driving my son to footy training. He's in the Futures program at Swan Districts, so he's decided to follow our path and go to Swan Districts, and so we're driving out to Bazzo or Guildford or Upper Swan, wherever they're training each day. So it's a busy day. Then I go home, get home just after 7. I have something to eat and pretty much say good night. Yeah. I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow over. So,
yeah.
It's busy times. Yeah, right. Absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
And so no, it's busy times, but
it's keeping you out of trouble.
Yeah. At the moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, mate. Yeah.
Podcasts scare me a little bit. So I'm a bit worried about this.
Yeah. We'll get into
Last
that.
time I did one of those, it didn't end well. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah. Welcome, mate. And I'm stoked to have you here. Eh? Honestly, how old's your boy?
He's 15.
Oh yeah.
And my daughter's 10.
Yeah.
So it's been a big adjustment for them coming back there. Obviously, the problem with them is you got to love your kids unconditionally, but they're both Victorians.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's making it tough. But big adjustment for him. 15 dragged him away from his mates and into a new school, and he's doing his best, but. He's battled a bit last year, to be perfectly honest with you, without
I can imagine
without talking out of school a bit. It's been a struggle for him,
Yeah.
and he's trying to get his head around that and figure out why he's flat and why he's not feeling great in the head, and so we've been talking about it a lot with him. But he's really proud of him. He's going really well. So my daughter's did it easy. Yeah. She was fine.
Well, the females normally
social.
do, mate.
She's with my kids. My son, thankfully, is all his mum. He's lean, good-looking little rooster, and fit, runs all day. My daughter, the poor thing, she's just got all of me. She is just mini me, the poor little thing. And
she's adapting well, though.
Yeah, but she doesn't mind a chat and have a bit of fun. So she's made a lot of friends and going well. But it's been a big adjustment.
Yeah, good one, mate. Yeah, well, it's a little bit harder, I'd imagine, at 15 years old for a male as well, man. Like you're sort of trying to get used to the schooling.
Yeah, he's gone from a state school, which was a sporting academy in Melbourne. Which was great for him because he did school, but then anyone in the sports academy sort of got treated a little differently. Special probably. And then all his training and that was involved, and that the school has the physios and the doctors and the rehab programs and the specialist footy coaches. And he's left that, and then we've dropped him into a private school in Sorrento, so he's now got the tie on and the blazer and the pants, and that's taken some adjustment and a bit of discipline around the place too. Yeah. So it's been a fair adjustment for him.
Yeah,
but,
that'd be hard for anyone.
Oh, absolutely. But he's really proud of him. He's doing his best.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, mate. I've been bragging a bit to people about having you on board. I'm hearing all sorts of stories, mate. They're all good stories.
Are they all good?
Yeah.
Depends who you're talking to.
The one that comes up the most, mate, and I want to sort of get a little bit of clarification about it. It's 14 goals in one.
Oh, no, well, okay, we're having a talk about that.
I've done my homework, mate.
Well, it's how long have we got?
Yeah,
because I'll go through each one for you
I
individually.
hear you're a legend on and off the field, mate.
Nah, not a legend.
Let me hear about yourself, mate. I want to hear
mate. Mate, I retired 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and it flies. It just flies by. And so does your career. When you start off and you're lucky enough to be drafted and get an opportunity, you just think you're going to be there for 10 years. I'll play forever. But no one can. Everyone, even the great players, have to call it a day at some stage. And I got 9 years, so I was pretty blessed there. But 4 clubs. So I kept getting the arse all the time. It was 3 years at Essendon, which took me over to Melbourne in the first place. Then I got traded and went to Port Adelaide for their first 2 years, and had a really good first year. Struggled a bit in the second year, but that was my fault. When I look at it now, I didn't do the work in pre-season, in the off-season. I just thought that I'd gone from Essendon, where I was in the side, out of the side, in the side, out of the side. And I've gone to Port Adelaide. I've kicked 70 goals in the first year and gone, well, it's just going to keep getting better for me. I'm getting an opportunity now. I'm good to go. But I didn't do the work.
What do you mean, sort of just taking it for granted a bit?
Probably.
Yeah.
I just thought, well, no, I've shown what I can do now when I get a good run at it with a coach who believes in you. And it'll just keep getting better for me.
Yeah.
And the things that I needed to do in the off season to give myself a rest, give my mind a rest, give the body a rest, probably not conducive with an elite sportsman. So I needed to have a bit of fun and I didn't mind a sip.
Yeah.
And everything that I enjoyed was bad for you.
Yeah.
So
what age was this, Scotty?
So that's, I reckon I'm 22 there.
Yeah.
22.
So to try and balance
23.
a fucking professional athlete with being a lad.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And let's face it, mate, at 22. Yeah.
22 and in a 2-team town now, so the attention is ridiculous. Like I reckon I met, and there's no exaggeration whatsoever, I reckon, and maybe I should have got out a bit more, but I reckon I met 5 people in 2 years in Adelaide that didn't follow footy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So everywhere you go, and it's either Crows or Port, and it's either you're walking down the street and it's either, Scotty, you legend. I said, hey, fellas, how are you? Well, then you turn the street and you walk down and you go, Cummings, you wanker! Yeah, okay. Yep, good. You're a dickhead, mate. Okay, sorry, yep, no, useless prick. I'm like, yeah, thank you. So there was feedback everywhere you went.
Yeah.
But
was it a bit different than coming over here to Perth? I mean,
yeah, well, that's the thing. So I had a bad year in '98, but I re-signed the contract.
Yeah,
and then this is what you don't want to hear as a footballer, right? You don't want, every time a player gets told by the club that he's a required player, you're rooted.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like the coach having the full support of the board. Yeah. You don't want that either.
Yeah,
as soon as they say, have to come out and say, oh, he's got the full support of the board, I think you almost guarantee within a month he's getting the arse. And as a required player, the same thing happens. If you're a required player, you're about to get the arse.
Yeah, right.
So I got told at the end of '98 that I was a required player. And then a minute later, I get a phone call saying, Mick Moldhouse wants you to go to West Coast. And I'm like, what does it matter? I've signed an extension. I want to stay here. I don't want to move again. And even though Perth was home and I'm a staunch West, I said, you know, fly the flag wherever I am. Yeah. And so I said, okay, well, I better ring Mick then. I said, well, I don't want to go, but the courtesy of returning his phone call. And straight off the bat, he goes, okay, Scotty. I said, yeah, okay. Mick, how are you? Nice to talk to you. He goes, so you know Port Adelaide are trying to trade you. I'm like, what? Sorry, what? Yeah. No, they said that you were trying to convince me to, yes, mate, they're going to trade you.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
Fuck.
So, and that was the last I heard from Port Adelaide. I spoke to Mick and then the deal got done and I came home. So
all this is going on without you really knowing what the fuck's going on.
Oh, absolutely. So it happened at Essendon, required player.
Yeah.
They offered me a contract over the phone about 12 hours before the trade deadline.
Yeah, right.
So, and about 13 hours. It was 12 o'clock on a Friday was the deadline. They rang me at 11 p.m. and probably not expecting me to answer the phone. But I've answered and it was Danny Corcoran was the footy manager, and he offered me a contract over the phone. And it was shit house. It was like a terrible contract. You wouldn't get out of bed for it these days. And I accepted the contract over the phone. And it was like, I went, yeah, okay, I accept that. There's this big long pause. And it's like, oh, that's great, mate. All right, fantastic. All right, we'll get that done and we'll talk later on. And then 2 minutes, no word of a lie, 2 minutes after that, my manager rang me and said, Port or Geelong, pick a club.
Yeah, right.
I went, no, I've just spoken. What? Hey? And he goes, Port or Geelong, pick a club. So, and that's the last I heard from Essendon.
Fuck.
So I'm sitting there, my head in my hands, just shattered mess.
Yeah.
And then I had a quick thought of Geelong and those horizontal hoops.
Yeah.
They're not going to look good on me. I'm going to piss off to Adelaide. So we went to Port Adelaide, and it was great. I was rapt to be there, the part of something brand new. But then that same thing happened again. So I got the arse after a bad year. I had a great year and then a bad year, and got traded, even though I had a contract. So these are all these things you got to deal with, and I think clubs are better at it now.
Yeah,
like talking with players and being a bit more open and honest. If it's being traded now is no big deal.
Yep.
Happens to there's probably 3 people on each list that are untouchable. Everyone else for the right price is good to go.
Yep.
So then came home and it was good. My wife's from Perth as well, so we were back around the families and had a great bunch of boys at West Coast from 99 to 2001 when I was there. Mick was sensational. I loved Mick Malthouse. Yeah. He was hard but really fair but fun as well, and he'd let you be you.
Yeah.
And as long as you knew, he knew straight away. And Mick's got a wicked sense of humour.
Yeah.
He loves a practical joke, loves stitching blokes up, and he loves a bit of fun. As long as you know when to do it and when to deliver it, you'll be okay with Mick. And so we got on so well, and I just wanted to play for him and I wanted to do well for him. And, we had a great year.
Because were you in the era of where you can party hard and be a professional athlete? Is that what you're saying? I know now
that's what I'm saying. There's a few people that disagree with me.
Well, I mean, is this the reflection that was happening within the club, or is it?
No, look, I'm a big believer, and this is why Mick is so good, right?
I know you've got to be careful what you talk about.
I'm happy to talk about anything. It's one thing I've learned since getting involved with Pucker Up and mental health is just talk. Just talk. And
cool.
So I don't really know secrets or anything like that. I'm happy to, if someone's pissed me off over this, I'll tell you. It doesn't mean I don't like them now or anything like that. But if I've had a blue with someone, you have a blue with someone and then you get over it, have a beer or whatever. But the thing about Mick is that he understood that different things make different people tick, and that's something that all coaches need, managers, your boss needs to understand, or managers at work need to understand that
it's not one
what
way.
Makes me tick is different to what makes you tick,
Sure.
Dave. And they've got to figure out what that is and get the best out of them. So I needed to have that release on weekends after games. I never drank after a Sunday.
Yeah.
And you'd only get one session in a week because you got to train every day and then play.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah.
So you get out after the game or the day after and then have a go. But I had to do that to feel normal.
Yeah.
To sort of, I guess, break down the grind of footy. And it's
it's a release, mate. I can imagine all the fucking pressure that's on you too, man. I mean, I've got loads of questions here because obviously based around mental health and having someone like a professional athlete on here, mate, is, I've got things like preparing for the game, training, like even your mindset, mate. I mean, the pressure of having the expectations of you as an individual and then as a team. I mean, that question alone, like, how do you, is that something you just sort of try and block out, or is it something that you enhance?
But the pressure?
Yeah. Well, to perform, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I made the mistake of reading everything too that was in the papers. And so 98, I was getting smashed every week by a couple of journalists in Adelaide, they would just come after me and I kept reading it. I don't know why.
Yeah, right.
It's not good for you.
Yeah.
Because, well, for one, they're not playing.
Yeah.
They have no idea what you're going through. They don't know if you're injured. They don't know if you're carrying something. But
they don't know where your fucking mind's at.
No, they're exactly right. But they're there they've got to do their job. They call it as they see. But their opinions shouldn't have mattered to me.
Mm.
They shouldn't have mattered to me, but they did.
Yeah. Well, we talk about that a lot on here, Scotty. Like we talk about fucking how much we're weighed down by other people's opinions, or even like the expectations you might have on yourself, or what your partner might have of you.
That's the one. The expectations you have on yourself.
Yeah.
I think is the big one.
Yeah.
We've just got to relax a little bit because life's short.
Yeah.
And and we're all wired differently. And this is what I've learned about mental health and how I'll explain how I got involved with Pucker Up. But
do it, man.
I've got some mates since I got involved with Pucker Up with Wayne and that's Wayne Swass's organisation, ex-North Melbourne and Sydney champion.
Yep, Pucker Up.
But battled 12 years of his football career secretly hiding depression and anxiety because that was a time that it just wasn't acceptable.
Yeah, right.
If you came out and said, I've got depression,
we
were always told, and this is my era, we were told, harden up, toughen up, stop being a pussy. What have you got to be fucking depressed about? Your life's good.
Yeah.
But it's not that. Your brain's wired in a way that's telling you things that aren't true or things that aren't there. And it's not through anything you've done. That's how your brain's wired.
Yeah.
And it sucks for them. Absolutely sucks. And I'm thankful I don't have ongoing battles. I've had times where my brain's telling me stuff that's not true.
Yeah.
But it's impossible not to believe it.
It's fucking hard, man.
And Wayne Swass, I realised real quickly after, and I was working with Swatter on a TV show in Melbourne, and started to, briefly touching on it and talking about it because I didn't get it and I didn't understand it and I had no empathy because it's the way we were raised, as I said, harden up, toughen up.
Yeah.
But I started talking to Swatter a little bit and then they were doing a bike ride. Pucker Up was doing a bike ride and I'm like, okay. And I said, I've got to talk. I said, and I need to educate myself on this because I think I'm missing the boat a little bit. And so I rang Swatter and he goes, mate, are you going to do this bike ride? I said, well, hang on. What's it all about? What's Pucker Up and what's going on? And he started telling me his story. I rang, we were on the phone for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And blokes don't talk that long on the phone. Yeah. And he's telling me, and the thing that got me, and hopefully this explains it to a lot of people. Wayne Swass in 96 played for North Melbourne. They won the grand final at the MCG. I was in the crowd, jealous as all hell. I was just so envious. And I'm thinking, look at them. They are the happiest blokes in the world. Well, Swatter was standing there with his hand on the Premiership Cup thinking, I fell over when he told me this. He goes, I was standing there holding the Premiership Cup thinking how I'm going to kill myself that night.
Yeah, fuck.
I said, what? He goes, there was only 2 people in the entire crowd that knew what I was going through. I couldn't tell anyone else because I would have been shamed and run out. I was thinking about I'm better off dead and I should make everyone's life easier for them and kill myself. Yeah. I went, get fucked. And that just sat me in my ass. And so I said,
that sums up mental health, mate.
Yeah. Well, I said, mate, I've got to learn. I need to educate myself on this. And I did. And I've got myself involved with them. I would have preferred it not being bike rides. Built to be a cyclist.
Yeah.
They're generally.
Did you get the lycra
on? Yeah, I did. And it wasn't pretty. And I became one of those absolute flogs that clip-clops into cafes and their bits hanging out. I'm like, shit, what's happened to me? But we rode from Sydney to Melbourne the long way. Yeah. In 8 days, it was 1,433 kilometre ride. It represented every kilometre we did represented 2 deaths taken by suicide. Yep. 2,866 people committed suicide in 2016. So that was the purpose of that ride. But each day, Swatter would do a seminar somewhere, and people are coming in. They're either coming in for help for themselves, or they're coming in to understand mental health.
Yeah.
They're coming in to help someone else.
Yeah.
And each night I just kept going to every one of them because I'm going, this is powerful. And most of them, I'm wiping tears away.
Yeah.
Hearing people's stories.
Is he still doing these
seminars? Yeah, absolutely. Poker Up's going strong.
Up.
He's moved to Queensland now because apparently it's better riding weather. Yeah, he's one of those places obsessed by his bike.
Yeah.
Fair dinkum. I'm not sure who he'd rather spend the night with, his Mrs. Soph, who's a beautiful lady, or his bike.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's got some issues.
Yeah, but if you could be a bike rider, mate, I mean, you could fight through anything.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep riding when I get home to Perth and keep training and doing stuff for each ride. And then I realised that Perth's really fucking windy.
Yeah.
Big blokes like me don't like the wind.
Yeah.
Don't like the wind at all. But So
what? Just quickly on that, what does he talk about, man? Like, I mean, what sort of got? Because that's quite a heavy fucking place to be, man. Massive. You won a fucking grand final
in that moment too. It's not like later on, and you've come off the high or anything like that. He's thinking there in that moment.
Yeah. So what does he talk about, mate? Like, what was his processes of sort of getting through that?
Yeah. So that's the thing. So and it took him when he went to Sydney. It took him, I think, 3 psychologists to find the one that he clicked with.
Yeah.
And he found her, and he said she saved my life. There was a couple of others talking to them that didn't work for him.
Yeah.
And didn't change anything. So he said, I'm going to try and find someone else I'm doing a connection with. So that's probably one of the great lessons for people out there if you are battling. Sure, if you are talking to somebody, which is well done to you, hats off straight away.
Yep.
But if you don't think that person's the right person, they won't take it personally. This is about you finding that person you connect with and being able to just lay it all out there on the table. And so what I found that person, and credits her, said absolutely saved his life. But he would talk about the holes that he went into, and that he would leave training at Arden Street and drive home, but then park 200 metres down the road and just cry. For 20 minutes. He goes, and he had no idea why. He goes, I don't know why I'm crying. And so he just felt ashamed.
Yep.
Now, thankfully, because of blokes like him,
mate,
we're talking about it.
Yeah, well, we had to go through that for us to even have this fucking conversation, you know. I guess I've been 8 years with a life coach as well, mate, because I've been in those darkest moments, mate. I lost my mum through suicide. I've lost my business. I've gone through I've been in those dark places, mate. Hence why I've started this, because I think it's brilliant. And we talk about like with my life coach, I get her on here every couple of weeks, and we're talking about relationships at the moment and relationship with yourself. No, not. Well, we are going to talk about partnership.
Okay.
I just thought I'd talk to you about relationship advice.
I've somehow hung on for a long, long time. And I am president of Blokes Batting Above Themselves Club. I don't know how I've survived. To be honest with you, she's a very patient lady.
But we're talking. We just spoke last week, and that was relationship with yourself, man. And I think that's the fucking important thing, you know. And trying to
being content with yourself.
Well, I mean, going to that place of recognizing that you're fucking down and out, man. Like, and being honest with yourself. What are the reasons for it? What's coming up? We spoke about, being honest with yourself, getting help as well.
That's the best. That's the most important thing, because I talk to people now, and because I've got involved, and because I've come from that angle of not understanding mental health whatsoever, thinking it was all a load of shit.
Yeah.
And every time I heard someone, he's got depression, I'll roll my eyes. Now I get it, and I understand what it's about. I don't understand fully because I don't battle it every day, thankfully.
Well, you have a need to, really.
Well, it's right.
Yeah.
But I've got blokes now coming to me going, hey, mate, you got a few minutes? I'm like, yeah, what's happening? And they go, I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the matter? And blokes, my friends have seen me now go from the bloke that, what's wrong with him? What? Don't waste my time, to, all right, let's talk. Yeah. Let's have a chat. And I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to think any less of you. I don't think you're weak, because, some of the toughest blokes I know one of my best friends, is possibly one of the toughest blokes I know. If I'm getting in a blue, I want him next to me, right?
Yeah, right.
He grabbed me, said, "Mate, I've been struggling." So what with, mate? Work and that. He goes, no, I'm struggling in my head. I'm like, shit, righto. I'll be right there. Let's go have a coffee or something and let's go have a chat or a beer.
Beers,
I think it turned into 16 beers. But he spoke to me about it and I was so proud of him. And because he's now got the courage to talk about it, it's what we say to all these people. So I can't fix you. I can't help you, but I can get you on a path. Yeah. So I championed that at my old job in Melbourne and people would come to me and say, I'm struggling. So, right, you got a doctor? Yeah. Book in with your GP now and tell me what time you're going to go see him. So you follow that up with them, not just, yeah, I'll do that. No, you tell me what time you've booked in for. So they said, I'm booked in 10 o'clock tomorrow. Great. Ring me after you're done. Tell him everything. Tell him absolutely everything. So then they get referred to an expert in mental health, whether it's a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, and then they're on their way. They're on their path to getting it sorted, and so that's where I come in. That's where I push them along there. Yeah, awesome. And someone says, how you feeling? I say, how you going? Yeah, I'm really good. How you really going? So
are you involved like around the footy, like any sort of footy club still, man?
No.
Like what's the?
No. I was. I coached my son in Melbourne. For 4 years. I think he got sick of my voice. Yeah. But we would talk about that with the kids as well. And we didn't start with it because I think they were 9, but we finished with them at under 12s or 13s, and so we'd talk about this and we'd make sure that
because that's why I'm wondering, like, and especially
pushing
like
the message.
Yeah, well, so it is spoke about more.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've come a mile, and you're not going to be judged by your friends. You're not going to be excluded. You're not going to be thought any less of. In fact, I think it takes absolutely more courage to say you put your hand up and go, "Fuck, I'm battling, and I need some help. Yeah, can someone help me?" Because there's not a person in this world that won't be missed by someone. And I don't reckon anyone listening today to this who has lost someone to suicide, I guarantee you 100% they've gone, shit, if only I knew. Fucking why didn't I know? Well, why didn't I see that? Yeah. I could have spoken to them. Yeah. I could have done something more. Yeah. But because it's in the past, it was such a taboo subject. Yeah. No one did. Yeah. So if you are battling out there, I promise you right now,
I can put your hand up.
Put your hand up. Your friends will stay with you. Yep. And if one or two drop off, then they're not your fucking friends anyway, and you don't need them in your life. Right. They won't judge you, and they want to help you, and they want you to be healthy. Yeah. So
you're a legend.
I'll
for
push
saying
that as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. That's it's pretty deep and exactly what it's like. And the other thing is, mate, in fucking suicide, I always think about what my mum's missing out on now. That I've got 3 beautiful children, and my sister's got children, and it's about if you can push them through those fucking moments, man. They've got a whole life ahead.
How old was your mum?
She was 34.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was 14, mate. Found her.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
And then, but like, it's funny, like when you're 14.
Well,
that's why I sort of thought about your son at the start, because I was around about the same age. But it's funny. I probably suffered with it more when I started having my own children and things like that, becoming more of an adult and a parent. Yeah. When I was younger, I was a little bit more fucking. I don't know if it was shock, maybe. I don't know, but it was more, I guess, for me. Yeah, I don't know. I was young as a teenager. Yeah. I went completely off the fucking rails.
Yeah. Well, fair enough too. I mean, what a horrific experience.
Yeah. But it never goes, mate, does it? I mean, I'm sure we've all probably had people that have passed away on us. They're never forgotten.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And as I said there, there's not anyone in the world that won't be missed by somebody. Yeah. And if that's you, if you think that no one will miss you, I'm telling you, you're wrong. And go and see your doc. Yeah. And if you get on track.
And it can feel like that. It feels like you are alone.
Yeah. I've got to reiterate the fact that I've had some of the toughest people I've met put their hand up to me and said, mate, I need some help. And I just think they're even tougher for doing that. Yeah. And it doesn't make you weak. Mental health doesn't discriminate.
Yeah. It's good to hear it from you too, mate, because, I mean, a lot of us sit back on our couch and, you know, say watch the West Coast Eagles play, and we're all in that same sort of mindset, mate. Like, look at these guys. They get paid good. They're living the dream, you know.
They pay good now.
Yeah.
Hell.
Yeah.
Average wage of 380 grand
I
a
thought
year.
you would have been on that, wouldn't you?
No. I'm not sure I made 380 over my 9 years.
Yeah.
Well, you sit there and you think, geez, how good their life.
Yeah.
How good they got it.
But they've got their
But I can
struggles.
guarantee you right now, the list of 44 people, or 43 on an AFL list now,
Yep.
the numbers suggest that 10 of them are battling.
Yep.
5 to 10 of them could be in a whole lot of trouble without anyone knowing.
Yeah.
Put on a mask, put on a brave face.
Yeah. And I guess the pressure of them now as well, being an athlete. I mean, like, I can only imagine what their schedule's like.
Pressure. They've meeting after meeting after training session after meeting after training. And there's so much scrutiny on them, obviously. Not too many people go to work and have that sort of scrutiny. Everyone has an opinion on how they're doing their job.
Yeah.
So it is tough. Like, don't get me wrong, footy's a bloody good job.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're getting paid nowadays so well to do something you'd probably do for free.
Yeah.
And most people do.
Yeah.
And it creates a lot of opportunities for you. Shuts a few doors, but it opens a lot more than it shuts. So it is a terrific job. You will end up rooted afterwards. Your body will be cooked, but
well, that's the other thing. Well, just on that note, Scotty, it's like they've got things in place now where there is life after footy as well. Because, I mean, I could imagine that'd be a bit of a dark spot to come being a fucking superstar. And then,
watched a lot of people struggle.
Yeah.
And I struggled. I was really lucky because I finished at Collingwood and I retired because my body had shit itself, which is surprising because I looked after it so well. And Collingwood offered me a job. And they said, what are you going to do? You're going to head home or what? And I stopped and went, shit, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. They said, well, we want you to stay. We want to offer you a job. And so I worked at the club in a role that a lot of ex-players do. It's called special projects.
Yeah.
That's the role that ex-players get at their footy club. And I was doing goal kicking coaching as well. So I was on and off the field. So I was still heavily entrenched and heavily involved in it.
Yep.
But the average lifespan of an AFL player is 3.5 years. So at 18, they get picked up. 21, 22, most of them are done.
Yeah, right.
Most are finished. And all of a sudden, they're like, shit, where now? They've lost that sense of purpose or that, you know, whether it's
a massive high.
Huge. And then go back to work and, you know, even though they're rookies or whatever, they might be on 100 to 150 grand a year, which is fuck all in football terms, but not in real life it's not. It's a hell of a lot of money. They go back to a job earning 50 or 60 grand, like most people do, and just lose their way completely. So, but they are much, much better now at making sure there's career paths.
Did the club sort of support them through that?
No, not really. No. Once you're gone, you're sort of gone. I think it's better now that and the clubs sort of can't do that. You know, they turn over their playing list a lot. Yeah. And if you have a look at whichever side you barrack for, grab the team poster from 4 years ago, even 3 years ago, and compare it to this year's.
Yeah, right.
And have a look at the turnover in faces.
Yeah.
It'll blow you away because we don't think about it. You might lose one or two here or two there, but there's also 5 rookies that have been given the arse as well that you might not have heard of.
Yeah. So your 9-year career was fucking awesome.
I was very lucky, yeah. But you know what? I kept getting the arse, but I keep saying to people, and I laugh when blokes really crack their shits now about being traded because it's such a normal thing now. It happens all the time. To really good players too. Like some players have been traded. You go, what the hell is that club thinking? Brodie Grundy just signed a $1 million deal at Collingwood for 7 years, and 2 years into it, they've given him the flick and traded him.
Yeah, true.
But I always thought as long as someone wants you, as long as someone wants you, you're okay. And I was lucky enough that someone always wanted
you.
Lucky enough. So,
where were your best years? Like in terms of,
well, the first year at Port was strong. First year at Essendon, I only played 10 senior games. The last 10 of the year, I played 12 in the reserves and played. Not been a big at all. I played really well and kicked a lot of goals. But she's just, he wouldn't play me. He's feeding him fucking wink at that bloke. And so I finally got a game and I played the last 10 games of the season, won the leading goal kicker in my first year. So I look at that and I'm pretty proud of that. Yep. The next 2 years I was sort of in and out. Coach didn't get me. I didn't get him. Struggled with, I played 15 and 15. Out of the 22 those years. But then Port Adelaide was good, but then coming here to West Coast was my best year of footy by a mile in 99. Funny enough, I'd trained harder than I've ever trained to that point. Days. Yeah, that's Subi. And I was doing every extra session I possibly could in the pre-season because I'd put on a little bit of weight. I said to them, when I got signed by West Coast, I said, yep, I'll be there for the first day of pre-season. I've just got a few loose ends here in Adelaide I've got to tie up. And it was about 8 weeks of loose ends. Yeah. And 4 weeks in, 2 of the senior officials of the Eagles said, we're going to be in Adelaide. Well, let's catch up. We'll catch up at the Hyatt where they stayed there and the Hyatt bar. I said, yeah, I know it. I'll see you there. And I've fairly fucking waddled in. And you could see them at the other end going, Jesus Christ, look at the size of him. And they looked at me and they said, we think you should come home now. I said, I think I should too. Yeah. So I came back and I did, I was doing, I think most of the boys are doing about 12 or 13 sessions a week. I was doing 17. Yeah, right. So I had to get the weight off, but I'd had my break and I was good to go. And then the hardest I worked and then had the best year of my footy career with, kicking 95 and getting the Coleman. So that was my best year. Then Mick pissed off and Mick left and went to Clue and I was shattered. And I just remember sitting in his lounge room going, really? Well, don't. Just don't. Yeah. He goes, mate, it's done. It's announced. I'm going. I said, fuck. And so I was shattered that he left. And then we had a tough 2 years at the footy club. But I was on track again in 2000. I had, I think, 48 goals after the 12 games. So I was on my 4 a game, which is what I set myself.
Yeah, wicked.
And then my groins went out a thing called pubis symphysis. It's shocking. It's every time I took off and ran, it felt like someone was stabbing me in the pills. Right. And so then they put me under the knife, which was, in hindsight, I think was the wrong decision. And then missed that year. And then 2001, I struggled with a few injuries, and then they give me the flick.
Yeah. How's mate? Something that keeps coming up is like the word fear, mate. Like, I mean, are you fucking like thinking like? Well, one, I had fear of like. Do you? I mean, what's it like even running out? I mean, because you're talking to someone that knows nothing fucking about like any of that sort of shit. So it's like a lot like running out in front of a crowd, but then also just the preparation for stuff, and but then also just having the like you say, mate, like fucking someone being. Like when are you getting traded next as well? Like,
Well, that's hard. And not too many players go, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They should trade me. I'm pretty shit. Yeah.
What they did?
No one thinks that. No one goes, that doesn't seem fair. Yeah. What didn't seem fair
let it out,
was inviting a fair number of senior officials at the Eagles to my wedding, and then they fucking traded me like a week and a half later while I was on my honeymoon.
Yeah, right.
And that didn't seem fair. No. I just coughed up a lot of coin for them to have a nice night out. Yeah. And then they give me the arse. But they rang me.
Did you send them a dirty email?
No. I had a crack at a few on the way out. She made me feel better. It doesn't help. It doesn't make you look great. So I felt better. It's like abusing an umpire. Not going to change their mind, but you feel better about it. They rang me. I was on my honeymoon, and they said, "Oh, Scotty, we want you to come back and do a couple of tests." I said, "Well, I'm on my honeymoon. You know, because you're at my wedding 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago." They said, yeah, but look, mate, we need to find out if you're fair income about next year or not. I'm like, I'm absolutely fair income. I love the footy club. of course I'm fair dinkum. Yeah. I said, I'll train my ass off when I come back. And said, no, look, mate, we want you to come back now. I said, I'm on my fucking honeymoon. I said, this will be the shortest wedding in the world, shortest marriage in the world. When I go back in and say, hey, Dales, I've got to go. Have a good time. So the mother-in-law flew up. We were just in Bali, and the mother-in-law flew up, and I flew back. I really should have asked them what the 2 tests were before I even considered leaving my wife on our honeymoon. Yeah. I get to the club the day before I was supposed to do everything. They said, right, we've only got 2 tests. I said, okay, what are they? I said, is it bench press? Is it squats? Is it goal kicking? Is it marking? Yeah. Things that I need to do to be a good footballer. They said, no, we're going to weigh you. I'm like, what? I said, what? I said, bullshit, weigh me. I said, I've had a bucks week on the Gold Coast with the boys. I had a week leading up to the wedding in Perth. We were at lunch every day with lots of different people. I said, I've had my wedding. I'm now on my honeymoon. How do you think that's going to fucking go right now? And they said, well, we need to make sure you burn fair dinkum. I said, I'm fair dinkum. I'm on holidays. So they weighed me, and that wasn't great. Yeah. And I said, what's the second one? They said, we're just going to do the beep test. Oh, no. So you're going to weigh me, which in my off-season I'm going to break records. And then you're going to give a big fall forward, an aerobic test, an endurance test. I said, why don't you just do a 20-metre sprint time trial, which is what I need to do to get away from a player, to take a mark and go back and keep going. Why don't we do that? No, it's good. We'll do a beep test. I said, why the fuck did I leave? Why did I come back for this? They basically gave me 2 tests. I knew I was going to fail. Yeah. So that's... So I didn't think that was fair. Yeah. I didn't think that was fair at all. My wife had a good time. Yeah. She was fine with her mum. They were shopping all the time. Sit by the pool. They were okay. But no, I didn't think that was fair. But and I made that pretty clear on the way out. So I was gutted because I got called in by Woosha. So
that's what made right, okay, I'm with you now. So that was it.
That was it. No, I got called by Woosha, and to Woosha's credit, one, don't think it was his decision, or I've led to believe I've learnt that it wasn't his decision, as he was only in the job a minute and a half. But he sat me down and looked me in the eye and said, we're not going to run with you next year, mate. I said, what are you talking about? And he goes, we're not going to run with you. Really sorry, blah, blah. So I fully respect him for sitting down and looking me in the eye and saying that. So Essendon didn't. They told me I had a contract, and then 2 minutes later, gone, and I never heard from him again. Port Adelaide did the same. Never heard from him again. But Woosha sat down and looked me in the eye and said, mate, this is how it is. And I abused him a bit, said a few things to Woosh that you wouldn't normally say without him breaking you into 3 or 4 pieces, and got it off my chest. And then I sat in front of my locker, and again, I had my head in my hands and was really upset. Yeah.
Is this around the other players, mate? Or is
no, that's off season. They were all allowed to be on holidays. But I had me in the hands, and I was really upset. And then I walked out the door, and there was Lockie Reid, because someone at the club had told him that I'm getting the arse today. So he was out there waiting, and I've spoken to Locke about it a couple of times. He said, mate, you were visibly upset. Well, I said, well, I just got the arse from somewhere I really loved being, and. I was shattered.
Yeah, at that stage, did you have retirement?
Well, I didn't know. At that time, I didn't know what I was going to do. Yeah. And Mick rang me and said, I've just heard the news, mate, you okay? And I said, yeah, not really. He goes, what are you going to do? I said, well, at the moment, I'm wrapping my hands around a bottle of wild turkey. I'm going around to my mate's place, and I'm going to find the answers at the bottom of this. Yeah, right. And so... the wrong thing to do when you're in that mental state. Yep. The wrong thing to do is get on the piss. But I did. And then he rang me a couple of days later and said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I've decided that I'm not going to let them decide when my career's over. So I'm going to do something which goes against every grade of my body and hired a personal trainer. And he flogged me, flogged me for 3 months. And leading up to at that stage, for the old blokes, it was a December draft. So you get, I think it was December 17 or something like that. And Mick said, oh, who you guys? I said, I've got Steve Smith. He's a guy down at Claremont. And he goes, oh, Jesus, good luck. And so Smithy's got a reputation. He was mad.
Yep.
He was just, and I've got a theory in life, right? I don't trust any bloke under 5'8".
Yeah.
You can't trust him. And if you ever look at your friendship circles, I can guarantee you the prick under 5'8's a dodgy bastard. You know, I'm telling you right now. He's under 5'8".
Yeah.
And he said, mate, easy session today. And I ended up doing 800s and then weight session and then something else. And but I was in the best nick of my life, and I didn't know that Mick was getting weekly updates. So he was ringing Smithy going, what's he done this week? What's his load this week? How's he travelling? What's he done? So Mick rings me and says, mate, I want you to come over and train with us for a week at Collingwood. I said, all right. I said, mate, you wait till you see me, mate. I am flying. Yeah. He goes, yeah, of course you are, mate. I said, mate, I'm flying. Yeah. I said, mate, we're going to run rings around you. We're having a laugh. And so I got to training. I got there on the Monday morning and trained, and I ran all the running groups and that. Normally the full forward, we just sit at the back group, the real slow group, and just get it done. Yeah, I ran with the midfielders, flying, seeing the ball like a watermelon. I was training the house down, and I remember Barmy coming over and going, "Shit, you've done a bit, haven't you?" I said, "Mate, I'm flying. Wait till you see me tomorrow." Oh, you got halfway through Tuesday, another running session, smashed it again, feeling as good as I've ever felt, as fit as I've ever been.
Yep.
A level up on the 99 year. Mick comes over and says, all right, mate, thanks very much for coming. Don't worry about the rest of the week. I'm like, what? I said, excuse me? He goes, yeah, don't worry about it, mate. I'm like, and all the players are around. And I'd never, ever, if I'm going to have a blue with Mick, it's behind closed doors where we can speak openly and honestly to each other and not disrespect him in front of anybody. I said, can we go for a walk, please? We walked to the very other side of the oval. The cameras are over the other side, and we walked to the place. And I said, what did you say? He said, didn't you understand me 150 metres over there? I said, don't worry about coming back for the rest of the week. I said, that is bullshit. And I've teed off on him. Yeah. And I've given him what for. I said, this is bullshit, Mick. And probably for about a minute and a half. Now, you sit there and go, a minute and a half's not a long time, right? But if you just look at your watch now for a minute and a half and imagine yourself abusing Mick Malthouse, it's a fucking long time. And I go, this is bullshit, Mick. I said, you and I are closer than that. Give me another day. What have I done wrong, mate? I'm flying. Yeah. You know, and you give me a day and a half to prove myself, mate. This is shit by you, Mick. I could have been training somewhere where someone wants me, and I'm so pissed off at you right now. And I just kept going. And he's just worn it. He's sitting there with a little smirk on his face, a little grey moustache, going up. And he goes, are you done? I said, mate, I'm just pissed off, mate. I said, fair dinkum, I expected better from you. I said, you know I'll kill for you. And you've shit on me here. This is bullshit. And I said, I could have been training somewhere else. He goes, all right, you're finished now. I said, yeah. He goes, right. I'm going to pick you up in the draft next Tuesday, but I don't want any other club to see how well you're training. Oh, anything else you want to say to me? You know, I was only fucking around, coach, don't you? Hey? And he goes, stop smiling. Cameras are over there. We're going to shake hands now. I'm going to pat you on the back. You're going to walk off, and if anyone asks you anything, you're going home. Yeah, right. Which I was. I was going home. And that's what we did. And then he rings me. It was 5:45 in the morning in Perth. He rang me that Tuesday and said, bad luck, mate. I'm like, oh, shit, what's happened? He goes, you've got me for another 12 months. Oh, I went, you fucking beauty. I'll see you soon. And, and best thing, and if he didn't pick me up there, I don't know what I'd be doing now. My life would be very, very different. The club was very good to me.
There's a lesson in that.
And for that, I'll always be loyal to him. I love Collingwood. Eddie McGuire recommended me for the job I've been doing for the last 14 years before moving back to Perth. Someone approached him and said, this is the sort of bloke we need. He goes, yeah, I've got the bloke. And that was 3 years after I retired. So, you know, Mick and Ed have had just a huge impact on my life in a big, big way. And a lot of people struggle to understand why I barracked for Collingwood. I only played 5 games there, so the injuries, you know, I did too much running in that pre-season. I did my first hamstring ever in 2002, and then it just kept going in my back and my hip. So I only played 5 games, but I love them because they've been so good to me and shaped my life in such a big, big way. So.
Yeah, sweet, mate. Yeah, there's a lesson in that. I think sometimes, if you're being fucking knocked down, you can sit there, man, or you can choose to fucking
get up,
step it up.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it is such a big deal. Like, we all get kicks in the ass. Everyone gets kicked in the ass. And I'm trying to explain that to my kids now. I'm trying to explain it to a 10-year-old girl that, hey, not every day is going to be a perfect day for you. Some things are going to go wrong. And you need to figure out what you need to do to be able to handle that. Meltdown's not going to get anything done here. All right? And we all do it. Like, Dave, you might have a shit day, but I bet you've got the tools to figure out now how you get yourself through it. I have a shit day, and I know what I need to do to get myself back up in a decent mood. So when I walk in the door to my home, I'm not taking it out of my wife or taking it out of my kids. I know that I go for tunes. I put the tunes on, put the songs on that get me up and about and happy. Fucking try and be sad when you're listening to
Justin Bieber.
Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Oh, yeah, you're right now. You put that on and be in a bad mood. I dare you. And be up and about, you're dancing in your car. So I go for the tunes, or I ring a couple of mates that make me piss myself laughing. And away we go. I've got mates now that I know that are struggling. 2 guys in Melbourne. I know when they ring me, I know why they're ringing me, because they want to have a laugh. They want to have a chat. So away we go. I ask them, how are you travelling? What's going on? And then we just start going off on these tangents. And as soon as I hear them laughing, that's what they needed.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got people that I rely on for that too.
I've got the same vibe just sitting on the other side of the table to you, mate. It's been fucking great just sitting here listening to the story.
Well, you keep talking about it. It's such a big thing. It's such an important issue that we talk about and normalise the conversation around it, around mental health, and understand, even if you are like me 6 years ago, ignorant. Ignorant is probably a strong word. Naive to it, maybe. Uneducated on it, which is fine. It's absolutely fine.
Well, we're never there, are we? Really?
Go and educate yourself on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Open your eyes a little bit to it, because shit is real. And as I said before, it doesn't discriminate. It can bring down the toughest of men. And the toughest of women. Mate,
I appreciate you being on here, Scotty, and saying all that, man. I mean, I know what sort of person you are on and off the field, mate, and I think the respect that people have for you to even just be sharing this, man, and the people are going to be seeing it.
I like to have a laugh. I like to make people laugh and have a bit of fun, because I think there's no better feeling in the world than when you're laughing. Have you ever been shitty when you're laughing?
That's right.
No, you haven't. But so I love that, and I think, look, we've all got a story to tell, and I'm guilty as most. You judge people before you probably know them, or that's the thing. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's had their challenges, and
well, that's the other thing
we
too.
have no idea.
That's the other part to the puzzle as well. Sometimes you just got to fucking listen as well.
Yeah,
because it's a little bit.
I struggle. I do like talking. But
you know what I mean.
2 ears, 1 mouth.
You know what I mean. Like, some people take the courage to be able to tell their story. It takes a lot more, and so I think there's a bit of a key in listening as well as making people laugh, mate, or pick and choose.
Well, that's the thing, and I know that if someone rings me and says, "I need to have a chat with you," that's all I do. It's hard to believe, but I just shut up. I shut up and I just talk to me. What's going on? And I'll try and listen to everything they have to say. And it builds up, and then I just start talking again because I can't stop. It's listening is absolutely, you're spot on the money, Dave. It's the most important thing you can do. If someone's got the courage to say, mate, I need to talk to you, fucking listen to them. Let them talk. Because you know what? And I don't want to over dramatise it at all, but you could possibly save someone's life. And that's not making. I'm not trying. Like I said, I'm not trying to be all dramatic. You can save someone's life. By being there, by not judging them, by listening, and respect them for having the pills to say, mate, I need some help. I'm going to say it one more time. You could save somebody's life.
Thanks, Scotty.
That's my bloody pleasure, mate.
You're a fucking legend,
Now,
mate.
let's get back to the 14 goals. The first one was at the 3.5 minute mark of the first quarter, strong grab. Yeah. The second one was about 6 minutes in that. Yeah, all good as gold. No, good. Mate, great tour now. I think you're doing a great thing.
Thanks again, man.
And good luck to it.
Yeah, thanks, Scotty. Appreciate it, mate.
Pleasure, brother.
All the best.